Liverpool smashed 4-1 by Napoli in the Champions League. A very disappointing night for Jurgen Klopp's men. It's another game where they just don't get going. Another game where they drop points. Another game where Liverpool Football Club are just not quite at the races. What is going wrong? Trent Alexander-Arnold, abysmal at right back defensively. Joe Gomez dragged off at half-time. But it's goals galore being conceded. And by the way, it could have been 5, it could have been 6. Some big misses, a penalty missed as well. Liverpool Football Club in absolute dire straits. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Do me a big favor and smash the like and the share button, people. Let's go. Welcome to the highlights and match reaction show for the UEFA Champions League. We are sponsored by our partners for the entire season at Topps Kick 23. Topps Kick are the official digital collectibles app of the UEFA Champions League. Topps Kick is back for the 22-23 season, where you can collect and trade your favorite players from across the Champions League with football fans all around the world. The app has new packs available every week, brand new cards, original artworks, and classic top card designs. Throughout the course of this season, I want to build with you the ultimate Champions League squad with Topps Kick. So get the app downloaded right now. It's available worldwide and it is free. I'm going to be playing along throughout the entire Champions League season from tonight right and through to the final, and I want to see you there. The link is available in the description below to download the Topps Kick 23 app. You can also scan the QR code that will be on the screen throughout the course of this stream. But make sure like buttons are being smashed. You're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Big shout out to Topps. Let's do this. A disappointing night without a shadow of a doubt for Liverpool fans. We need to hear from you tonight. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you feel. 4-1 is an absolute disastrous result. You know, only 2 wins throughout the course of this season in all competitions, conceding those first goals again and again and again. And something's got to be said now, because this isn't just starting the season slowly. We're now into the Champions League phase of the season and much more. I'm joined in the studio tonight by Jess. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, that was another exciting day of Champions League football. We got to see tons of goals and some interesting performances. And so, yeah, another good day. Liverpool did not look great. They definitely didn't look great. And I think there's a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack there. Spurs, very consistent, like they've been in the league. Not necessarily playing any pretty patterns or anything like that, but very clinical in front of goal, very dangerous. You saw that Marseille got the red card, and that was pretty much them dead and buried. Marseille didn't really have any really big chances either. And so Spurs are frustratingly good, and Liverpool are really, really bad right now. And so, yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
We absolutely do. I know we've got a few technical issues going on. We will get them resolved for you very, very soon. Don't worry about them. Listen to the show. We're going to be getting calls on very, very soon as well. And look, I have to say, Spurs very, very good. We'll go through the other results tonight as well. Barcelona back to their very best at Champions League level with a 5-1 win. Atletico, equalizer very late on, I believe, for Porto in that game as well. Tottenham, Richarlison, brace, as you've mentioned. But Liverpool are, of course, going to steal those headlines. Liverpool, of course, are going to be seen as, the team that delivered, the team that just absolutely. I mean, Liverpool fans were so confident with the group. Nobody really saw. Look, Napoli have had a few good games against Liverpool in recent years, but nobody was expecting an absolute beatdown in that way. Nobody was expecting there to be such a disastrous result for them. Nobody was expecting this at all. However, maybe we've got to ask this question of, maybe this has been coming for a while now, because Van Dijk's been late to so many challenges and tackles. He's been off the pace. Trent, lazy tonight in so much of what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we haven't seen signs of this. We saw signs of it maybe a little bit last season, but not that bad, because obviously they were able to pick themselves up. We saw it the year prior. And then this season, it feels like it's all coming together. And there's players that have had injuries that are not really looking 100%, teams looking a little old, not really connecting the way that they did before. And it feels like Trent Alexander-Arnold has just been really figured out. That's what it feels like to me, is that teams are no longer afraid to use that space in behind him to really get at Liverpool. And then because you don't have Van Dijk and Matip being able to sweep up the way that they did before, they're just so exposed. And so the way that they play, they're just exposed all the time on the flanks. And so it's a tough watch, I think, because Trent is such a good player. And we know what he's really good at and what his strengths are, but his weaknesses are being exposed day in and day out, no matter who it is. And so we know Klopp's not going to change the way that he plays, which, is kind of worrying. We know that this is just the way that he plays. And it's difficult to see where they're going to pick up the form, how they're going to pick themselves up from it if they don't change anything. The players are just going to have to rise back up to that level. But I've always had concerns on, not really concerns, but just in the back of my mind, after the big season of almost getting the quadruple, the injury issues, the team getting older, can they pick themselves back up? And for me, I'm looking at a team that looks a little bit jaded, a little bit outside of themselves. And so, it's looking like Klopp at the end of his Dortmund career. And we know how that played out. I see what you guys are saying in the chat. I'm seeing Atletico scored. I can't really see the chat. FSG in. No one cares about. You will now walk alone. Liverpool. Klopp out. It's interesting to see Klopp out. It's really interesting to see Klopp out, because at the beginning of the season, I don't think anybody could have really anticipated being so close to the quadruple and then missing out. And then now people want Klopp out. There's a lot of FSG out here. Van Disney, Justin Y, Klopp, get the out of my club ASAP. There is a lot of Klopp out here. I'm very, very surprised by that. Don't we think we want to allow maybe Liverpool to get their injured players back in? An opportunity to, kind of get into some form before we just say Klopp out. I mean, he's been such a great manager for you guys. I think maybe it's a little bit too early for that. Let's see. VVD is past it. He had a big injury. He hasn't really recovered from that injury as well as maybe people had hoped. It's a difficult injury to come back from. He had a good block, but yeah, ultimately he just wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough today. He's still looking at the chat. Klopp flopping. Yeah, there's just a lot of negativity around Klopp. We have to, I think, let's just wait and see, because Liverpool have had a lot of injuries and they need time. They need time, potentially. All right. Sam says Van Dijk and Maguire are family. That is harsh.
Yeah, I'm very sorry, people, about the. I need you to turn the mic off. Turn those mics down for me, please. I know we've had a lot of And I've had a lot of technical difficulties on the show today. Everyone, let me know if you can hear me right about now, please. That's very, very important that you let me know if you can. Listen, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know. I need to know in the comments right about now if you guys can hear me or not. We've had some sync issues tonight. I'm not too sure why. Should be resolved at this point. Let me know. But yeah, look, thank you very much, Jess, for covering that for us. But a disappointing night indeed for what's been going on in relation to Liverpool Football Club. We're going to jump into some calls. Sound is fine. I can hear you, which is good. You can hear me through this mic, which is great. We're going to jump into some calls now because I know a lot of Liverpool fans have got a lot to say on the show. Some people are saying there's an echo. I don't know. Yeah, I can hear you. Some saying out of sync. Some saying they can hear me. I'm going to go to calls. First on the show, Tom Little is here with me. What are you saying, bro?
I don't want to say anything. I do not want to say a single thing about that performance tonight. I mean, we'll start from the back. Alisson Becker, I'm so sorry you have to deal with that in front of you today because you're the only reason we're not looking at a 6-7-1 here. You're the only reason we're not looking at a 6-7-1 because you saved the penalty, you made multiple one-on-one saves. It's shocking. Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez and Van Dijk, we're not lumped them all into one here because I could spend all day talking about the pair of them on their own or the three of them on their own. I mean, where do I begin? Joe Gomez. We'll start with Joe. The man got outstrengthed 3 times by Napoli's left winger. 3 different times by their left winger when he was under minimum pressure in our half. I don't care what level of football you play at. I don't care how good you think you are on the ball. I don't care. What you do when you're put under pressure is you kick it out. You don't try and do little Cruyff turns or little flicks and, oh, look at me, I'm good. No, you kick it out. Nearly cost us a goal. Van Dijk had to clear it off the line. The only good thing he'd done today. And did end up costing us a goal. Trent, lazy. His attacking side is the most confusing thing in the world. We've got a right back who plays as a false central midfield, right back, left wing, wherever he is. He plays anywhere but right back at times. And it costs us. It leaves us stranded. Van Dijk, lazy, complacent, thinks the aura is still about him. The third goal, he's getting away with the third goal a lot more than what he should do. He stands there on the third goal and watches the ball get crossed in. Simeone's on his back for about 5 seconds, unmarked, doing nothing. And Van Dijk doesn't even turn once to look at him. Shocking. Fabinho, done out here. He's absolutely goosed. But we thought, we'll be okay. We don't need to sign midfielders. We've got Thiago. We've got Keita. We've got Ox. These 3 reliable players. Because that's what they've been known for. That's what they've made a career out of, being reliable. No. And we gambled on fitness of injury-prone players, and they all got injured at the start of the season, and look at where we're at now. Milner. The best way I can describe Milner today, it reminded me of the 7-2 when we had Adrian in goal. And Adrian's had a couple of minutes, gave the ball away, and they made it 1-0. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I go, I can't be bothered. I'm done. And certain players must feel the same way when you've got someone that bad on the football pitch trying to G us up, wearing the captain's armband. Who's following James Milner? James Milner doesn't lead by example. James Milner shouts. James Milner was good 5 years ago. Not now. Not now. He hasn't put in a good performance this season. He hasn't barely put in a good performance last season. Harvey Elliott, he needs a rest. I think he needs to be a little bit more progressive at times, but he was one of the best of a bad bunch today. Firmino, useless. Useless. His touch was off. Couldn't create anything. Couldn't score anything. Wasn't in the box for crosses. The crosses are another thing. I don't know why we put in so many crosses today when we've got no one in the box. You're just asking to give the ball back. Salah as well, because Salah will get away with it. Salah was awful. Absolutely awful today. And today, the argument is, he doesn't get his chances. Where's his chances? 3. 3 clear-cut chances he had today, and 2 times he didn't control the football. There's no excuse for that. Diaz scored. Apart from that, he did nothing. Thiago came on and was good. That's the only way we save our season. We get Thiago playing 40 games a season, and that's not happening, so we're in major trouble.
Mate, listen, I totally get where... Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. The frustration, the annoyance, the anger at a performance like that it's embarrassing. And when you actually start to look at the season overall, there's a pattern here for Liverpool. There's a genuine, bona fide pattern for Liverpool. Your defensive line is an absolute shambles right now. And I'm not throwing out conspiracy theories, but you know, the power seven essentially for Jurgen Klopp feels like it's happening again. And there's some real big issues for you guys to address. And you got a bit of a touch at the weekend with both Arsenal and Man
The
City
high
losing.
line works when you put pressure on the opponents. The high line works when you put pressure on opponents and then you force them into mistakes. They panic, they send it over the top, you catch them offside. What we're doing is we're playing a ridiculously high line and then giving some of the best midfielders in the league and in Europe all the time in the world to pick out their pass. And then we're shocked when the player manages to stay onside. Why? This isn't something that's revolutionary tactically. This is something you learn at under 14s when offside gets introduced. Why is it now catching out players on 200 grand a week and these so-called best defenders in the world? I can't back any of them this season. They've been awful. They've been absolutely awful. And the worst part is it won't change. It won't change. The only way we get success out of this season as it stands is if Arthur, who I don't think was necessarily great today, but I can give him a benefit of the doubt because it's his first game and we were 4-1 down. He wasn't great when we came on, and Thiago was good, but he's injury prone to death. And I can't do more Milner.
Mate, I totally understand. Look, we'll get you back out of a bit of a panel later on in the show, mate. Stay backstage for us. I want to hear more from you. Sorry, I really do apologize about the technical issues at the beginning. I'm not too sure what happened, so big apologies. I want to shout out our title sponsors properly. Tops Kick 23 from the beginning of the Champions League until the Champions League final. Get their app downloaded for the best digital collectibles out there. We've got a brilliant Champions League fantasy game coming very soon that they're going to be launching, and I'm going to be schooling you all for football knowledge on that massively. So get it downloaded. It's available for free. The QR code's on the screen or link inside the description below. There's lots of cards. I'm not sure if you want a Van Dijk card tonight. I'm not sure if you want a Luis Diaz card tonight, as you can see on the screen. But get that app downloaded. We're going to bring the panel out a little bit later on the show. I want to go to some of your super chats. I know a lot of you have been putting them in. I don't want to ignore them. Terry, I'm officially FSG and Pep L plus Klopp out is what Omar has got to say here, turning on the management. Terry, are you having callers? We'll be sharing the link very, very soon, my friend. Don't worry about that. We always lose in Naples, but that was dreadful, Terry. Gomez and Milner not good enough anymore. Van Dijk looks out of sorts too. We need to wake up. I'm going to say this, Daniel. I'm going to say this bluntly. You're right about everything you said there. Milner shouldn't be on the pitch. He's a dinosaur. Gomez was absolutely shocking tonight. Virgil van Dijk, slow off the mark, not leading his team. Is he buying into the hype? This is why I said to people saying he's the greatest centre-back of all time in the Premier League was premature. Man did it for 2 years. But I'm sorry, you can't be ignoring Trent Alexander-Arnold. The laziness, the bone idleness of this man is a disgrace. And there shouldn't be a Liverpool fan in the world that's accepting of this. That isn't what your club is built upon. Standing still at goals. The 1-2 that put, I forget the guy's name, who scored their second goal. Third goal.
I don't remember who's that. I don't remember his name.
Tall lad with the dreads.
Oh,
Anguissa, there we go. Sorry, I forgot his name. Trent just stood still at the 1-2. You go with your man. Unacceptable at every single level. Liverpool fans, Istanbul hotels and tickets booked. That's what's been said there. I like that one. Here we have Trent is the most overrated player I've seen. It won't shock me if Liverpool don't make it out of their group and Klopp is gone by Christmas at this rate. Now, I don't think Klopp's going to be gone. Klopp can turn it around. This Liverpool team doesn't... I know that Milner might be past his best. You don't go from being almost the quad winners to being the manager getting sacked overnight unless... The only way that's true is if the players have decided, we love you, Klopp, but we've just had enough at the relentless running, the system, we're bored. That's the only way this falls apart. You can't go from nearly winning the quad to not getting out of Champions League group, your manager sacked by Christmas, not in a top 4 race. Maybe that's a little bit too far. Television 2 says, don't mind me, I'm just here for Zane's tears, is what's been said. Klopp to Chelsea and Tuchel to Liverpool. Chelsea fans would love that. I don't see it happening myself, but I think Chelsea fans would absolutely love that move because we know how good a manager Jurgen Klopp has been. It's all to do with last season. They gave everything and have nothing left. It needs to rebuild and we will suffer for a couple of years is what Sean has got to say in the live comment sections here.
You know what I'm mad about is that I feel like my prediction was just a year too early. Oh, hold on the mic.
No, you're not mic'd up right now because we had to go to one camera because it was not working, Jess. I'm very, very sorry.
Oh, so I'm not even in the show anymore.
I'm sorry. Hi, Terry. Hair is looking great, my guy. Do you think Liverpool will recover in time for Ajax? Ajax are looking good. Looking good, Jess, by the way. That's a compliment for Jess. Look, I think you can turn it round, but something's got to change. Your manager's got to change the way you're playing. The high line has got to stop. I think some of your players need to rocket up their ass. You've got rid of Nico Williams, who's a pretty good right back. Who can cover Trent right now? Trent needs dropping, but who is there to drop him for? Is the big question. Liverpool fans know more about the squad than me. And the only thing about me, and I'm sorry to sound bitter, the only thing about me that's kind of feeling a little bit gloaty is that Liverpool fans have been warned about this for a long time. Trent's defending. You know, who's your cover in certain positions? And we've all been called haters. Oh, you don't know as much about football as we do. Look what our team's winning and achieving. And the chickens are coming home to roost. Trent is the most overrated player. Liverpool aren't making it out. Oh, sorry, I've already read that one out. I apologize. I must have come back to it. I'm not Klopp out. Things have to drastically improve, but I haven't lost faith in the manager yet. Whole team is playing poor except Alisson, is what Aaron has got to say. Listen, I hear you on that. And I don't think Liverpool fans should be Jurgen Klopp out, by the way, either. Results of complacency and a lack of ambition down from the owners to coaching to the players. Need to bring in transfers in January. Yeah, but the season's over by then. You need to do it, but the season is done by that point. There's absolutely no doubt about it that the season is going to be done by that point if you don't turn these things around. Yeah, we've got another super chat here. KJ is going to get back to starring them for me if he could be great. You are talking trash, Terry. As long as rubbish Elliott is in the team, Klopp will not turn it around, is what Michael Ramsey has got to say. Results of complacency and a lack of ambition. It trickles down from the owners to coaching to the players. Need to bring in transfers in January. Liam here says the issue are the midfield is non-existent when Milner plays. Elliott is good, but not defensively switched on enough. And it's no surprise we looked better once Thiago came on. We are screaming out for a midfielder. It's on FSG, is what Liam says. Let me ask this question, Liam. Is your manager not complicit in this as well? That's the question I've got for you today, my friend. Okay, here says, evening all. I am loving this. He's also become a member. Thank you very, very much. Blaze here says, I don't know why Liverpool fans are overreacting for. Some people said having more possession, especially around the opponent's box, is dominating, is what Blaze has got to say. What does Liverpool have to do to change this bad patch? New tactics, new formations, start different players, or sack Klopp and get Tuchel in? I know you're joking. I don't think it's about changing too much, but I think dropping players is needed. Van Dijk, awful. Trent, awful. Make a statement. We have criticized lesser managers in the Premier League for not dropping out of form players. The greatest teams in the history of the Premier League drop their best players when they're not playing well, when they're not performing. Jurgen Klopp must follow suit. Has to follow suit if he's to try and turn this round. Jerome here says, I'm going to say it now. City are winning the league. I think the only team to challenge them could be, and if that's a big if, are Arsenal. And Shane here says, Terry, watch out for, I can't pronounce that name. He is a baller, and he is starting the season on fire. Tore Trent, Gomez, and Van Dijk apart. How do you pronounce that name? Because I can't even pronounce it. I can't pronounce it. But there we go. I'm a Villa fan. I'm scared of playing against him. Sorry? Oh, no, I know he's a man. I meant the name of the player. I can't read it out. There we go. Yeah, and I get, I get you on that one there. Right, we're going to share the link out. Obviously, we're going to speak to some Tottenham fans as well tonight. Tottenham won in very good fashion as well. They did, so we're going to be speaking about that. Let's bring the panel out now to have their say. I want to bring them on to chat about this in more detail. We've got JJ here with us today. We've got Zane. Tom's back with us as well. Roms is here, of course, big Liverpool fan. Boys, talk to me. Disappointing night.
Intensity. The dogma that's rife throughout Klopp's reign. Pep Linders has it plastered all over his book. It's plastered all over the change room. It's the one thing that Liverpool can't do now. In every game this season, including this one, we've been outrun by the opposition. So the basics behind Klopp's strategy, behind his tactics, we're unable to do. I just want to go and I can't believe that fans couldn't go and see this coming. I can't believe it. the argument, oh, we were in the top, we were in a quadruple race. We're in for the quad, guys. We're only a couple points off. Ultimately, you did not do it. What you're seeing now...
They're calling it a transition now. They're calling it a transition now.
No,
Yeah,
They're calling it a transition now.
We're in transition.
Okay.
We're in transition. In 4 months. 4 months after going for a quad, right?
Yeah.
It's only Liverpool. Listen, it's so funny. It's only Liverpool that can ever go from winning the league to ending up scraping fourth with an Alisson header, and now going for a quad and ending up where we are. Us fans, all of us, get abuse on Twitter, on social media, everywhere for going and stating what is the obvious. And it takes this.
Can I ask a question?
To come out. 2 seconds, Ron. 2 seconds, because I want to have my piece. We speak about, madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. What are we seeing? The same thing every game, the same system, the same tactics, the same players, expecting these players to turn it around. Now, my question is to everyone in the chat and and Terry as well. Are the players trying hard enough? If they're not trying hard enough, then that's a Klopp issue. Then that's a Klopp issue because he can't get the best out of these players, which is a serious issue. I don't want to believe that. So for me, I go with the latter, which is they're tired, they're knackered, they're jaded. If that's the case, where has the investment been for 2, 3, 4 seasons to make sure that this doesn't go and happen? Because this, for me, is unacceptable.
I got a question for Tommy and Tom and Zane, because I know your answer for this, Jerry. Does this surprise any of you two?
No, not a chance. When the moment I saw James Milner starting on that pitch today, James Milner wasn't the only bad one, but the moment I see that on the first Champions League match day of the season, when we're already in bad form, I'm watching an OAP who should be spending his evenings watching Homes Under the Hammer on Channel 4 and not running around on the Napoli pitch. I knew we were done for. He had the worst opening 15 minutes I've seen from a Liverpool player in a long time. What's he doing for the penalty? Why is he stood there doing the YMCA? Look at this. Whoa.
Do you know what I find absurd? I'm going to be quick, Zane. Do you know what I find absurd, right? Because it's been the narrative the whole season. Why are we still playing a high line and we don't even press like that? Like, the whole point of us.
Do you know what? Do you know what, guys? I want to interject on this. As I know I'm not a neutral because I'm a Man United fan, but this time last year when I was calling out Trent being caught out, I was hearing Liverpool fans go online and say our defenders are instructed by Klopp to not track runners, to not go with their men in case you win the ball back and can transition. I've been saying this for years. What you say online and the way you defend players creeps into that dressing room. Some of your Zane, you can say what you want.
If I can have a chance to speak,
your players don't get rude to me on my own platform, bruv. Like, learn some respect.
No. I'm just saying I like to speak.
Learn some respect. The point I'm making is this. Some of you guys defend these players to the hilt. You never call them out. And they've become bloated and arrogant on it. The way Trent let men run off him today, if he wasn't Trent Alexander-Arnold with all these assists, you guys would began mental. And I can't believe he gets protected the way that he does. And that's why, that's why rivals go for him, because they look at it and go, "Oh, we had a bad game." They expect to see Liverpool fans call it out, and he gets defended. Like Klopp says, he doesn't have to defend in case we win the ball back. What a load of old guff! It's mad. It's mad.
So my point of view on this, right? Like I said it last week. I said Trent needs to be dropped. I'd rather have Gomez or Milner, and you lot started laughing at me. The reason I'd rather have Milner or Gomez, at least they'll bloody run for the ball. Like Gomez was exposed today, right? But at least he was trying. Trent was just.
I don't care. I'm sorry, Jay. No, I don't care if he's trying. I don't care if he's trying. It's not good enough. He got outspent 3 different times by that fucking left winger.
See, man don't want to let man chat. Who knows what he's talking about, right? So one thing, what I find surprising, right? Isn't Gomez the 4th choice centre back at Liverpool? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
So you lot are thinking about Gomez back in the day when he was a 1st choice. He's like a Nat Fixer, man. He's 4th choice. So what do you expect from a 4th choice centre back to do? There's a reason why Konate and Matip are ahead of him. And this is to kind of Terry's point about how we're exposed. Did you not notice when Matip come on, they had about 3 or 4 2-on-2 or 3-on-2s. Put your hand up if you thought at any point we were going to get scored on. No way. Them two just hounded it because
One thing I'd say,
that's levels, bro.
One thing I'd say, Zane, 100% facts. I've been riding this train, and not 100%. And I've said about Gomez, yeah, and big up from the end, big up Gomez, yeah. Listen to this. Gomez is now going to be 26 at the end of this season. We bought Van Dijk at that age. So this argument from fans that Van Dijk is the heir apparent to Gomez is the heir apparent to Van Dijk on the left, it needs to get done because we wouldn't have got a Konate that's 3-4 years younger than him to go and play alongside him. So that would never be the case.
He's a good utility squad player.
But Zane, one thing I will go and say though is I'm not going to have this with Matic. Although I wanted Matic to go and play, they also made some changes. They went and had the game won, and the way they were playing was nowhere near as intense. So yes, we did cut out a lot of those chances, and Matic did look a bit more solid. But by that time, Anguissa had run his legs into the ground. He was popping it about. He weren't making them third runs from midfield. He was staying much deeper. Why? Italian football. Keep the ball now. Make you guys run around. So I hear that point. But we can't use that argument about we're looking more solid.
You forgot one thing though. How many offsides did we get when them two men come on? How many offsides did we actually get when them come on? We must have got 6, 7, 8. Because in the first half, we weren't getting no offsides. We were just getting caught all the time. So all I'm showing you guys is that you've got a fourth choice centre-back starting. You're going to expect him to get exposed. Regardless if it's Gomez back in the day, he's a squad player now. He's a vital squad player where he can play right back or help out against the Leicester in the centre-back when you've got injuries, right? That's what people need to understand. It's this nostalgia about, Gomez.
Okay,
guys, why would they put him at right back?
Guys, let me just interject for a minute. I get Gomez, but what about Virgil van Dijk? This guy is proclaimed to be the best centre-back in the world, okay? And look, you can go back to the goal that Zaha scored. Jadon Sancho's goal as an example tonight. The penalty that he gave away as an example. There's 3 where he's late to the ball. His timing isn't off. This is the guy that's been, some people have said, is the greatest centre-back in the history of the Premier League. Like, I understand having a go at Gomez, but he is still your 4th choice centre-back, not performing well. Again, for me as a person, whenever it's my club, if my best players are underperforming, they're my target, not my backup of the backup of the backup. Blaming Joe Gomez and blaming Milner is a Klopp issue and an FSG issue, not strengthening your squad. But when you've got your Trent, and more so, and I want to speak about Van Dijk, where's the criticism of him? Where's the challenge of him? Because he has been atrocious this season.
Can I start on that? Because I'm always vocal on my shit players, right? And you're probably asking, why haven't I called Van Dijk out? I've called that dead ball FC, Trent. Donkey,
We need to speak about Salah as well.
Yeah. We'll talk about Salah as well. But here's how I deep it, right? Van Dijk came back from a horrible injury last year, right? We played, it's not an excuse, we played 60 games. We played every game possible there is, right? Van Dijk, coming back from a serious injury, played a lot of games. Then you got these stupid friendlies in the summer. Then we've got the shortest summer break because we've got to fit this World Cup in, right? And that's what I don't understand when you look deep in, because what you don't see, right, is there's so many players that are dead. They're tired, right? And what the problem what our club has, and you lot need to understand this as well, right? We're not a big-time club, because a proper club like Man City, Chelsea, whatever, in the summer would have got minimum 5 players. Do you know why? Our players are dead from last year. They played 60 pumps games. We need new talent in to basically give them a chance to have a break and obviously recover. At the moment, we've got injuries, and the reason why James Milner is playing, it's a well-known fact, he's the fittest player in the squad. So at the moment, behind the scenes, there are people on their legs dying, but there's no other players to put in. Hence why James Milner comes in, because he's the fittest.
And I get that. JJ, what you saying about Van Dijk and his performance levels?
They've decreased dramatically. The aura, look, being a centre back, I've played centre back high level. Being a centre back, a lot of your play comes from the respect that you gain, whether it's in the game, the first couple minutes, or whether it's what the league's heard about you. Van Dijk, for all his abilities, like in terms of ability, I hear that. In terms of the package, he's probably the best package you've ever seen in a centre back. The problem is, though, when you rely on that aura, especially after an injury, He's someone that doesn't want to go out and pressure, doesn't want to go out to the wide areas to go and cover. We saw it. Osimhen made the runs from centre to left every single time and allowed Gomez, and I saw it on numerous occasions, to have to cover for him and move across to the left side of the back line to go and defend. God
forbid the man sprints. God forbid he sprints.
Exactly. With Van Dijk now, what you're seeing is a combination of, as Zayn said, his injury. He's not been the same since the injury. We go back to last season, and he won. He got into the team of the year, right, in the Premier League. That should have been Matip.
Yeah,
that should have been Matip, because when Van Dijk was at his best was when Matip was in the team. As soon as Konate went into the team, and Konate, yes, first season, he had to get into the groove of things, or Gomez went into the team. It looked a shambles, and he looked leggy, he looked weary. The reason being is because Matip is someone that reads the game superbly well. He doesn't go and push out, allows Van Dijk to come into situations. When you've got someone that's on front foot, like a Konate or a Gomez, it leaves Van Dijk exposed. Right now, we're in a situation where we're finished, because if these performances, look, he's in his 30s now. 2-3 seasons down the line, there's going to be a decline, inevitably. There always is. Liverpool are going to have to go out now and I'll spend the money on an A-list centre-back to go and replace Van Dijk in the coming year.
And JJ,
on top of getting the midfielder situation that I don't even want to get into.
JJ, and this is, I've been talking about this for 2 years with Liverpool. You got to a level of performance and, of course, winning major trophies, which is the peak. To maintain that peak, big investment is needed. It's the only way. When you've got one of the best centre-backs in the world, when you've got a player like Mo Salah scoring at the same rate as Thierry Henry, the only way to replace it is by spending Haaland money, spending Mbappe money, spending Tchouaméni money, spending Casemiro money. That's what you need to do. It was never going to be maintained consistently, spending 20 million here, 30 million there. It was never going to happen. But Liverpool fans, for me, are part of the problem here, because they said, yes, it will work again. Sorry, go on, Rom.
Can I jump in as well, right? I don't condone this, by the way, what I'm about to say, but I honestly believe Van Dijk's head is also in Qatar. I honestly believe that. I think his head is already at the World Cup. And I don't think he's given his all for us. He honestly doesn't want to get injured, and he wants to save himself for his first major tournament. There's a part of me that actually believes that. I don't condone it at all, but I actually believe that as well. Because he's not going to anything. He's not winning anything. He's not first there. He's never really been that defender. But in this instance, the situation we're in, you have to.
And Terry, just to interject as well, sorry. Speaking about our players and the fact that we're part of the problem, we are. And I'll tell you why, and I'll break it down. What Liverpool fans are like, 30 odd years without a title. You win the title, you do something that me as a person, I've never seen in my life. I've never seen us win the title. We're so protective of our players and this crop of players that any criticism that came at us, and listen, I was guilty of it 2 seasons ago. Yeah, when our injuries went down and we were performing rubbish and we had to scrape, the Champions League with Alisson header, I was like, no, you know what? It's the injuries though. It's the fact, Trent's not defending because that's his positioning. And we're so protective of something that we've never had. We don't want to hear the criticism. Well, guess what? It's time to open our eyes. Yeah, it's time to open our eyes, because
does anyone know what Trent Roll is? What does he do on the football pitch? What does he do at times?
But that's my point, and it's with everyone. And the problem we've got now as fans is we need to wake up and smell the coffee, because on paper now, for how good Liverpool have been, if Klopp leaves, if we go another 20 years without, we're going to be looking back and saying, shit, we had Van Dijk, the best centre-back in the world. Alisson, the best goalkeeper in the world. The best right-back in the world. The best left-back in the world. The best DM in the world. The best winger in Prem history. The best left winger in the world at the time. The best false nine in the world. All these types of best captain in the world. All this type of stuff. We would have had an anomaly season with one Premier League that compares to what Leicester did. And on paper, when you look back at history, that's what it's going to be. Yeah. Bob Paisley, or was it Bill Shankly, actually spoke about, first is everything, second is nothing. That is in our DNA. Yet because of this period of not winning, we are so connected to this team. We can't find faults. We can't find faults in any one of them. Milner has to say, look what he's given us. Look what he's given us.
And JJ, this is when the sentiment comes in. And I've been called, I call them communist Merseyside. The way they shut you down, the way they come for you, the way they hunt people down. And there is, again, as a Man United fan, am I happy to see this? Of course I am. Do I think you can bounce back? Absolutely. But I've been warning about Liverpool fans about this for years, and all they call me was a hater. You're just trying to cause problems. Even Grizz Khan, I love Grizz Khan. Every time I tweet about it, you're just trying to divide the fan base. No, I'm not. One thing I do consistently for every football club is I hold owners to account to treat the working class, hard-paying fans locally, nationally, and internationally. I demand that these people, these billionaire owners, treat all of us right. And that's why I think everyone should stand up for one another's protest. Everybody should, when you guys are protesting about ticket prices, everyone should be behind you, because there is a common goal here, and that's the way the people that created this game, the fans that made this game what it is, get treated correctly. And I don't like seeing the wall poured over people's eyes. I don't like seeing the PR bullshit and nonsense. And the worst bit is when fans then suckle up to the teat of this nonsense and massage it and go, it's okay, Bitty, you can lie to me. Now, look, I want to speak some more. I'm going to bring David in backstage. We've got Kurdish Baller as well and others. I need to do some super chats first of all. TT and Klopp reuniting at the job centre. I mean, I don't see that happening, but that's quite funny. Let's put the question to Liverpool. If it counts, does Klopp get sacked? How many games does Klopp have? I mean, I don't think anyone's talking about giving Klopp any games. Like, it isn't one, it isn't five. Klopp's got credit in the bank to turn this round. He really, really has. Would FSG sack him? I doubt it. I tell you what I do think with Klopp, though. If Klopp wasn't getting what he wanted, I think he'd walk away. That's why I think Klopp is, to some degree, complicit, because I believe that he's backed what's going on here. Yeah. Zane TT is out now. Who's laughing? Sweet tears is what Blaze has got to say. I've got to get through these super chats because we're time restrained, my friend. How long does Klopp have? To the panel, how long does he have? Nav again. We'll come back to that question a bit later, Nav. Zane warned Tom about Hendo. Tom laughed at him, is what James
W's only, baby.
I didn't, but okay.
W's only, baby.
Okay. Klopp's time at Liverpool is coming to an end, is what Kev Williams has got to say here. Thanks for the break from the Chelsea world, burning Liverpool fans. The two worst teams, like it or not, is Chelsea and Liverpool at the moment. I'll put my hands up as a Chelsea fan. I think most would probably agree at the moment. They have been. Why is Conte not fit most of the time? It is mad how he spent the whole of last season proving he could stay fit, and initially it returns.
That's Liverpool, bro, for you.
Darwin Núñez is not good enough for Liverpool. Sell him.
He's looking dodgy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
And Liverpool missing more Mane. End of is what's being said there.
No,
David,
I don't agree with that.
David joins us now as well. What are you saying, David?
You lot make us look half decent. That's what I'm going to say. Jesus Christ. It's bad. I'm in mourning still. I'm still in mourning. But you lot, fucking hell, you guys are making me feel better. Carl, what's that kid's name? Cavaradonna. Bring him to the bridge. I've seen one game. I've seen enough. Bring him. He balled out. The way he bodied Joe Gomez like that. Mad.
Which time? Which time in the 3 do you want? Yeah. Which time in the 3?
I'm talking about the one when he did it twice in about 5 seconds. That's when I was like, okay,
You've done it about 4 times during that game.
This kid's it. Van Dijk is no longer centre back one. I want to make that clear. Reece James is no longer. Trent Alexander-Arnold is no longer right back one. It is Reece James. That's it. Well, Napoli made you guys look as bad as we did yesterday. So. I mean, my club went and did something I don't agree with.
Can I just say something that in context to you, right? Just in context, right? When Liverpool have been playing really well and on form, we've gone to Napoli and still lost, right? People don't understand. If you watch live football, there's an atmosphere set in grounds container, right? Like Anfield's famous for it. Napoli, I'm telling you, when we played well, we still haven't got results there. So how the hell do you think...
Zane, are we really doing that
now? We're going to get result. I said it last night. I said we're going to get slapped.
Zane, are we redoing up atmosphere as your excuse for 4-1? Your players aren't running, mate. That's not atmosphere.
David, you're missing the point. The point I'm trying to say, David, the point I'm trying to say is when we've been playing on really good form, we've still gone over to Napoli and lost.
No, but
we're not playing in good form. What makes you think we're suddenly going to turn around and win when we're playing good and we lose to them?
But the problem,
that make no sense,
the
bro.
problem today,
no logic.
the problem today wasn't to do with you like playing well and just not winning. The problem was you didn't try anything. Your players did not want to run today. they were walking about doing niche. That's what was the problem. Milner can't run anymore. I'm sorry, he can't do it. And he was captain. Mad.
Yeah.
It's mad.
No,
Would
Mad.
you say they're
Mo
tired?
Salah.
I totally agree. I do want to say as well, we had a super chat here, and the main reason the show went a little bit kind of in a different direction was because we had a big technical issue for the first time in about 9 months. I had no idea why. So we're kind of a little bit off the track about talking about other things. Terry, not even a little mention to Tottenham winning their first Champions League game. I did mention them at the top, and we will be speaking about Liverpool tonight on the show as well. Tottenham tonight on the show, because they did do well, and they kind of struggled at times to break down Marseille. The red card was given, but Richarlison, of course, with that brace, setting things up. And, Spurs kind of strangely, like sort of starting the Champions. I know City ran away with it last night, but out of the rest, like sort of Tottenham really kind of set in the way and sort of starting the Champions League campaign off in the exact same way they've been in the Premier League. Not spectacular, not beautiful to watch, but of course going out there and getting that job done, getting it over the line, delivering like in the right way. So yeah, look, Spurs very, very good tonight indeed, and they'll be very happy with that win, getting it under their belt. You can see a bit of relief in Conte, and you also saw Richarlison getting those goals. It's almost like he's got that off his back a little bit. Champions League as well. I don't know if that must be his first ever Champions League appearance as well. To get a brace in it is big for him after that £50 million investment as well. This super chat says it's happening at Arsenal after winning the league in 2004. Didn't refresh the team with quality players, and the rest is history. And this happened before. Gary Neville spoke about it in his book Red, that between 99 and 2001, he didn't feel the club bought enough. So yes, they won the league 3 years on the bounce, but he goes, we could have won the Champions League maybe one more time. And then at the end of that cycle of sort of certain players, we weren't ready. We weren't ready to keep going. And listen, it's happened so many times. And that's why it kind of bothers me when you call it out, because history dictates this is what's going to happen. And then things aren't delivered. There we go. Varane is the best centre-back now. Centre-back number 1 in the Prem is what Neeks believes. As you all know, and I know a lot of you have scanned the QR code and got the app downloaded, which is absolutely brilliant. But we are sponsored by our friends at Topps today. The very best digital collectibles available. There's one of the Van Dijk cards. There's one of the Luis Diaz cards. The brand new cards for this season are on their way out. But of course, they can't release new cards for this season until after there's been games, because they need to have pictures of the players in the new kits. Someone said to me yesterday, why is there no new ones? And I thought, that's a good question. But if there's been no games, they can't have players playing in their kits in the new season. So that gets released very, very soon. And we're starting a big fantasy football league all on that app, which we're going to be discussing on every single Champions League night. So make sure you get the app downloaded on your phone ready. The QR code's on the screen now. You've also got the link in the description below. I know a good few hundred of you have downloaded it already, which is amazing. We want to get thousands of you involved, because I'm going to beat all of you, especially everyone on this panel. I'm going to school you all with my football knowledge. I've been ignoring fantasy football for a while, but this time we're going to do it properly, and you're all getting buried, especially you, David. You can shake your head, Zane, as well. You're 47 years old. You don't know how to use an iPhone.
All I say, Terry, I've won my works football fantasy league, bro. So
yeah, but you're self-employed. That don't mean anything. You're by yourself. We're gonna freshen it up a little bit with some callers here. Zane, thanks very much, mate, for coming on and having your say. Roms as well. Really appreciate it, my friend, for coming on. We're gonna add Kurdish Ball into the mix with us now. What do you want to say, my friend?
Yes, Terry. Thank you for having me on again, bro. Let's look at the root cause. Obviously, the boys watched the game. Within the first 5 minutes, Napoli were behind our back line twice. And the second time, it came back and it was a penalty. Now, what happened is we lost the duels in midfield. This goes back to years of negligence. They bought the club in 2010. They sold Fernando Torres for 50 million. And they bought Andy Carroll and Suarez. In them 5 years, they didn't invest. They didn't invest any more money until Suarez left. When Suarez left, Brendan Rodgers wanted Alexis Sanchez, and FSG said, no, we're not paying them wages, and they bought in Barini and Lambert. Brendan Rodgers was made to be Lamb of the Slaughter again. We then go on to bring Klopp, who is a miracle worker. Klopp was slowly given money, and it was only because he was continuously selling players. And then slowly, with Klopp's success, buying gems at 30 to 50 million and making them world-class players, such as Salah, such as Bennett, because none of these were world-class players at the time, bro. Let's be honest. What happened is the success was slowly papering over the cracks that were there. And then the top reds were saying, but they're investing in the stadium and they're investing in the new training ground. All that should be bare minimum expected from an owner, such as you guys are expecting from Glazers, because this is what sets up the club for future success, and it profits them longer term. And then what happened was, Wijnaldum left, they never replaced him. And then slowly, you started to see a little bit of depth in the team last year when they bought Diaz. And actually, we reached 2 finals. We got to the Champions League final, and we were 1 point off the league because we had depth on the bench. This summer, they got rid of the quality on the bench to balance the books. Minamino, they got rid of Mane and bought Nunes in. And let me tell you, if they bought Tchouaméni in, they wouldn't have bought Nunes in. And then on top of that, Klopp himself came out towards the end of the summer and said, I want to be more risky and I need signings. And even then, they didn't sign anyone until Henderson got injured. And then they bought him Arthur Melo, who with Arthur Melo, they're literally sharing the wages with Juventus. So to them, the priority still was to balance the books. So Klopp's been papering over the cracks for a long time, and the success has been doing that. But actually, the bigger issue has been lying for the last 10 years. The club has not invested. The average player for Liverpool spend is 22 million over the 10 to 15 years of FSG. They spend 22 million average on a player. In today's market, that isn't feasible. And actually, 2 years ago, you could find a player for 30 to 40 million and then make him a gem. But the market has moved on. FSG are not just able to handle Liverpool now, because Klopp has took Liverpool to a place where they're eating with Man City, PSG, and Madrid. And they can't keep up with that. But it's not just that. They can't keep up with the sport either, bro. The sport has evolved past them. Because Salah now, not now in his form, but if you bought Salah from Roma now, you're not getting him for 30 million. You're paying 60 to 70 million. And FSG have proven year on year that they cannot match this. And we want to know. Fans should have the right to know now and should ask, where have the profits gone? Where have they gone? Because actually, it came out only a couple of days ago it came out. And I've lost my head today, bro, because I've been shouting this for 15 years. And it came out literally last week that Liverpool have made record profits again, that we've overturned Man United for profits. Where is this investment? Why are the fans not questioning it? And
because you won a trophy 3 years ago and it's all right. That's the main consensus in the fan base. You won a trophy 3 years ago and it's all right, and it's not good enough.
But Tom Bamber, my bro, that's been papering over the cracks. And with
exactly.
Klopp, you've got a miracle worker. You've got a manager who can do this. But actually, even the year where we lost the defenders, it was only Alisson's header that we got on the Champions League. Let's be honest. So
you hit the nail on the head. They haven't lived up. They haven't lived up to how we've grown. They bought a mid-table club with top 4 aspirations, and they went, "We can get you to top 4." They got us to top 4, brilliant. And then we grew past top 4, and they went, "Oh, I don't want to do that. No. I can still invest my top 4 money and reach that level. I'll just keep doing that." They're businessmen, and they don't care about the success of this football club. So they have just stuck at a top 4 investment level since 2018-19, and that was never more prevalent than when we won the Champions League and bought Harvey Elliott and Adrian. We're at the peak. We are the most desirable club in the world to join at that point, and they give him a 15-year-old from Fulham and a 33-year-old keeper from West Ham, and it worked miracles again. Won us a title, and then again the issues are there. We need more money. They bring in 2 good players. We could still do it. We were left short in centre backs. It came back and bit us. The issue is with this club, we cover off bases, but we're always one short at the end of the window, and we're sat there going, well, what if we could just sit there and invest fully in one season? And it's never going to happen, unfortunately.
And do you know what? I'm emotional. I'm emotional. Do you know why I'm emotional? Because actually, I've been shouting about this for 10 years, and people say to me, "Oh, you're a Tourist fans," and we call them top res, and they call us Tourist fans, and they're the same people that stand there and go, "But FSG built a new stand," and they built the new stand for us Tourist fans and for tourists from the US to come over. So they don't see the irony in themselves, and it's enough. And Glazers, as much as United fans will slay Glazers and say Glazers out because they don't invest in the infrastructure, which FSG do, but actually Glazers do invest in players. So it's almost like, okay, you guys aren't getting it on that end. We're not getting it on this end. But why are our fans they don't call out? And why are our fans having a go at the fans that call them out?
Just to echo what you're saying, the issue we've got is that, first of all, as Terry pointed out earlier, Klopp is an enabler in this. The reason is because he is someone that is happy with working with what he's got and maximizing the most out of players, maximizing the most. When you hear his terminology, he speaks about
underdog
squeezing the most
mentality
he can out of this season, squeezing the most he can. 4 years ago, Klopp went and spoke about, if I ever have to spend 100 million on a player, I'll quit football, because football's gone that way. His principles in football don't align with where we are as fans right now, where some of us are, because we want continual success. Yet we've had the Premier League now. We want the Premier League the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, because we're seeing where we are. Yeah. The issue FSG have is that when you have the money ball kind of model within football, yeah, it's suited to the American model. The American model has wage caps, and there's a premise amongst fans and clubs that there's a 5-year cycle. So you look at, people might not understand basketball, but you look at the Lakers, for example. 5 years, or the Bulls with Michael Jordan. 5 years, they're really, really good. Then they fall off. Why? Because you've got the draft system and all of that type of thing. That is what FSG came into. FSG came into under the premise saying that there's going to be there's going to be FFP put in place in order to go and make things fair. Clearly, in European football, it doesn't matter about FFP. You can spend as much as you want. You do whatever. So Liverpool, in fact, we do spend money, but we spend money on wages. What we've given Klopp is the first time in his career, you get to keep your players. You get to keep your players. Van Dijk's not going to Barcelona. Mane's not going to Real Madrid. You get to keep your players for their peak years. And Klopp's love that. So when he speaks about, and you hear it in his terminology, players can leave on their own accord. We're never going to force players out. We're never going to force players out.
And then we get stuck in this situation, don't we?
So just as Klopp enables us, we as fans also enable that kind of situation, because we then turn around and say, hey, well, it's great. It's all right.
But bro, that's that right there that you've mentioned. And again, this comes down to FSG. That's the bare minimum, because you're no longer eating at a table where players are being paid 150 to 175. You're a Champions League winning and challenging with Man City, PSG, and Madrid. So you need to be paying your players 250 to 300k. We have one player in the whole squad, in Mo Salah, that earns over 250k.
He had to fight for his life for that money as well. He had to fight for his life. He was waiting years to get that money.
Exactly. So now, if you're wanting to eat at the table with City and the rest, because let me tell you this, if you said to Haaland, and this is being the extreme end, I am being extreme now, but if you said to Haaland, you get to play in Klopp's, rock and roll style, and actually we'll give you the City wages, I think Haaland is more tempted to come and play under Klopp. I really believe that, because it's a better style of football.
You're doing too
more
much
exciting.
But you're doing too much there.
Too much.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
guys, listen, I understand your points as well. We did have a Tottenham fan who was backstage who wanted to bring on, because I did want to speak Tottenham on the show as well. It's been not hijacked. We're obviously talking about Liverpool as well. We have shared the link. So the Spurs fans watching, you could have phoned in and have yours. I know Dan was backstage. I'll give you a few minutes to jump in and have your say. But listen, I understand the things you guys are saying. You have spent money on wages. The money is there, though. And this is the thing with the top red claim that you made. There's top reds or top, I'm sure that there's top blues or proper Chelsea, and there's people like that. I don't think City have enough fans to kind of create those issues. But there is this, you get these fans that are like, no, what we say goes. And if you don't agree with us, you've got to move on. But anyone that tries to shut your opinions down, essentially by bullying, whether it's digital or physically threatening you, that means you're right. Generally speaking in life, if you've got an opinion and people are trying to shut it down through bullying, shut it down through threatening to attack you, you may not be 100% correct, but you're on the right track, because otherwise you just ignore it, right? You go chatting nonsense. That doesn't mean anything, etc., etc. A comment here said, you have to understand the American vision. It's all about making money. We at United have it. Arsenal have it. Liverpool have it now. Chelsea have it. Get these yank money merchants out of the Premier League is what Chloe Jenkins has got to say.
I don't think it's an American thing. I just think it's bad owners. That is, but I don't think Liverpool have bad owners. If I'm being honest,
they're good owners for a top four club. If we were top four club,
I agree. They run.
Overdoing it a little bit.
No, you're right, David. Liverpool will run well, but they're not run to be competing for a Premier League every single year.
Yeah,
they're not. They're run to be a top four team that, if you get it right in terms of the young players you develop and the cheaper players that move on, the money ball effect, you can become competitive. But what they're not going to do, and this is the thing, if Van Dijk's past his best, the only way you replace that level is by buying a world-class centre-back instantly. Are you going to... I know you spent 75 million on him, but if you went for the best left-back, a best centre-back in the world right now, what was Van Dijk's age when you bought him, 25?
26.
If you went for a 26-year-old best centre-back in the world now, what are you going to pay? 150 million pounds?
Yeah, I mean, Guardiola's 90 mil and he's potential.
90, Guardiola, look how young these players are. Their potential. Yeah. So, well, you did say he was world class the other day, but
well, yeah, no, but he's still world class. He was world class in my book, isn't it?
I hear you on that. Don't forget the money we spent for VVD and Allison came from the Coutinho salt, which is.
But you were going to sign them anyway. Well. You were going to sign them anyway.
I was going to say that.
I get that, guys. Sorry, I need to try and get through these super chats. Sorry, gents. How long does Klopp have to the panel? If you don't turn it around, do you think Klopp could be sacked if he doesn't pick up the winning this season? Anyone think he could be sacked?
No. These owners will stick by him because they know as well as anyone. There's no one that will stick by them as much as Jurgen Klopp. Well, there's no one who will sit there and deal with what Jurgen Klopp has to deal with as well as Jurgen Klopp does. That's the big thing for FSG. They can get away with it. They can keep on making their money, and Jurgen Klopp will keep on getting the profits for them on the pitch. But it will never lead to sustained success. We will have our periods. We will have our 2-3 year periods where they're good and like, oh yeah, look at us, best team of all time. And then it crumbles because it doesn't get investment. And it'll be 3-4 years where you're battling around top 4 in an Arsenal. And then we might come back again. If, like you said, Terry, we get the recruitment right, the young players develop properly, yada, yada, yada. It's stupid. Look at the midfield today. I know we'll keep harping on about it. How are you going in to the first Champions League group game with a 36-year-old player who was wanted by Leeds, a 29-year-old who hasn't had a rest since, I'm going back to 2020 at this point for a rest for Fabinho, and a 19-year-old who was a right winger converted to a centre mid and has such little experience. You touched on it earlier, Curtis. We lost the midfield battle. Do you know how many duels we won today out of everything? There was 24 duels today contested in that midfield. Out the start midfield, we won 6. Thiago won 7 in the 30 minutes he was on the pitch.
No, I think one of the most damning stats as well was at half time when you had 0% dribble success. That one was like, that hurts.
Absolute craziness. It really, really is. I think we're going to get Orchi on in a few moments to speak a little bit of Tottenham before the end of the show. But remember, people, to get the Kick 23 app from Tops downloaded right now. Click on the link, scan the QR code. It's going to be a very fun season using this indeed, and some big contests on the way surrounding that as well. And this show will eventually become completely panel-based, so everyone will be in the panels. We'll be competing against each other and chatting to you at home, so make sure you've got it ready. Orchie's joining us now, Tottenham fan. We're going to have a fan in a good mood tonight. There's going to be a fan in a good mood. How you doing, mate?
Yes, great start. Mate, I'm really happy. I mean, obviously, the performances so far hasn't exactly set the world alight, but then saying that, the golden years of, Man United, Arsenal back in the day, they kind of did it this way when they went on to win big things. So, with Conte in charge, with obviously Richarlison in the last few games, when he's come on, he's really made a difference. He's really brightened up the struggling kind of gameplay that we were having. He's, slowly, bit by bit, Conte's getting the new players blended into the team. He's giving, like he said, he's starting to rotate and stuff. And it just, we're getting the job done, which is the important bit. That's all that matters, really, even if the performance itself isn't exactly setting the world on fire. What an interesting day today as well, with like Tuchel getting sacked and obviously Liverpool's woes going on. And obviously as a Spurs fan, and I've been predicting that hopefully both of those teams will be struggling this season, hopefully, so that Spurs can have a shot at I don't think Spurs have a chance of winning the Premier League, but at least be up there, mixing it up, be up there, come the second part of the season, still within 4 or 5 points of Man City. And if Liverpool are up there by that point, my excitement continues about what could be possible this season for Spurs.
It's hard watch. It's a hard watch at times. It isn't the most scintillating football, but you just keep picking up these wins. And you think about Arsenal start to the campaign, how good that's been. City have been brilliant across all comps. You know, Man United have started to pick up their ways, but I don't think anybody should be talking about Man United too much yet because there's been so many false storms with this club. But you know, Chelsea now looks like they're going to bring in Graham Potter. We see what's going. You know, could there be an instant turnaround then back to their best? So yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant start to the campaign for so many reasons. Some of it good, some of it bad. And Spurs are just efficient at the moment and scary. But listen, boys, I really appreciate you all coming on with us today and having your say. The audience, absolutely amazing as always. The super chatters, thank you. To all our new members and subscribers, thank you. And of course, big shout out to our title sponsors, Tops. We're back next week for the next round of Champions League games. So make sure the app is downloaded and ready to go as of next week. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon. Thank you. Welcome to the highlights and match reaction show for the UEFA Champions League. We are sponsored by our partners for the entire season at Tops Kick 23. Tops Kick are the official digital collectibles app of the UEFA Champions League. Tops Kick is back the 22-23 season where you can collect and trade your favorite players from across the Champions League with football fans all around the world. The app has new packs available every week, brand new cards, original artworks, and classic top card designs. Throughout the course of this season, I want to build with you the ultimate Champions League squad with Tops Kick. So get the app downloaded right now. It's available worldwide and it is free. I'm going to be playing along throughout the entire Champions League season from tonight right and through to the final, and I want to see you there. The link is available in the description below to download the Tops Kick 23 app. You can also scan the QR code that will be on the screen throughout the course of this stream. But make sure like buttons are being smashed. You're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Big shout out to Tops. Let's do this.